dancing in the morning light, lasers burning dreams through the night. CNC carving tales so fine, ideas endless on the maker's line.
So first thing, gonna need about 16 inches worth of scrap here, or worth of fence picket. I got just over 16, about 18 3/4, and we're gonna rip that down to cut it in half. So we got 5 3/8, not exactly 5 1/2. So we'll rip it down to 2.5 inches. 2.5 inches for this piece. Now make sure you're measuring to the inside of the blade to the fence. I've made the mistake before of measuring to the outside. So get that set up, get on our PPE and a push block. Make sure it's not going to hit your blade. And plug in the saw. Gotta cut a lot of this out. Two pieces, same width. Awesome. While we're here at the saw, I went ahead and changed my cut width to 1 3/4 inches. I got a piece of scrap here that's just over that, and another piece that I'm gonna rip down into strips. We'll see why in a minute. So for those of you playing along at home, I've got 18 inches, 1 3/4. That other board was about 19 inches. So I got about 50 inches worth of 1 3/4 inch wide fence picket. So far we've used a total, well, let's see here. 19 times 3 would be 57. Nope, times 2. 19 times 2. No, we'll do it times 3. 57 inches. So we're still less than 1 fence picket. Still less than 1 fence picket to get this job done. Let's see how we go with the rest of this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and measure 4 inches. On each of these 2.5 inch boards. And we're going to cut those. I guess I only need to mark one. Line them up. Make sure we're getting a cut on the right side there. All right. All right, and then we'll do the other two at 12 inches. short cuts first and then your long cuts. Make sure you don't get close to cutting your fingers. Leave as much board there as possible. Then with our 1 3/4 inch boards, we're gonna cut those to 9 inches. Should be able to get 5 out of what I got here. Perfect. Perfect. Be able to line all those up. Get all those together on one end with my recently cut 9-inch board on the top. Put it just against the blade so it's kissing it. Look at that. Look at how little scrap we got left. That's awesome. So now we got 6 boards here. So I'm kind of making this up as I go along. And we need to figure out the back of this thing. So let's see what we got going here. We got all these 9-inch boards here. If I space these just right, what I can do, see those are gonna attach to the back there, and I want to have kind of an angle to that, because why not make it a little interesting. I don't want to do a full curve. I don't really want to do that, and I don't really like the look. I like some angles. So if I have those there, if I'm going to attach it, do I want to space those? Yeah, I'm going to want to space those. So how much do I have there? Hopefully this will work out to be around 8 each. So I'm going to end up with 1 inch. 1 inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a 1/5 of an inch. 1/5 of an inch per. How do I do that? That's going to work out well. Maybe if I eyeball it, I can get there. Let me move all this. Let's try to eyeball it. I have that at the edge, about there. I just don't have a good way to measure a 1/5 of an inch. I was hoping to be an 1/8, because I have 1/8 inch boards. But if I kind of eyeball these gaps here, oh, it's pretty good, pretty even. So I'm actually going to go ahead and mark, so I don't have to try to find these gaps again. I'm going to mark those gaps on this board. I'll make that the back, so later I can line these up again. So now what I can do is measure up, we'll say 6 inches. We'll go 6 inches up. So 6 inches up from, oop, this tape measure does not like to stay locked. It's a new tape measure too. We'll say 6 inches. There, and 6 inches there. Yeah, that'll work. All right, so let's line these end boards back up again to where they go. Cool, cool. Now we can just take a straight edge and mark a line from that 6-inch mark to the top of the board. Of course that moved on me. Why wouldn't it move on me? Try that again. All right. Oh, that middle one is a little bit shorter. So I'm going to line it up to that middle board. Top. All right. Oh, I'll go down this time. All right, got a line there. And in theory, should be the same angle on both sides. So when I take it over to the miter saw, I have one angle. Let's check with the angle finder though. Got my nifty little general digital angle finder. Zero it out. Find out what we're working with here. So that's going to be, looks like a 57.5 degree angle. So we'll just make it 60. Let's actually do that then. Let's make it 60 degrees. That way we can find that a lot easier on the miter saw. Hopefully. All right, so we got that set to 60 degrees. Move those bad boys out of the way. Keep my spacing here. Oh, you son of a gun. There we go. So that 60 degree cut there. And on this side, we'll do the same. Line up our marks. Oh, I hate doing backwards. Okay, we'll go upside down like this. We've got it locked in. That's all that matters. So line up the top of that board. Cool. All right, and we'll take that over to the miter saw and get those cut. So we've set to 30 degrees. And now we're going to make this cut. First cut. And we have our second pieces here. We'll line up. On that line there. Let's go back and see what that looks like. All right, here we are back at the table saw. Let's see if these cuts work how we wanted them to. Got our two center pieces. Two end pieces. And our two X pieces. Whatever you want to call them. I like that. Looks pretty good. So next we're going to go ahead and build the box and add these slats on the back. We definitely want to wear a PPE for this one because we're going to be using the brad nailer. So set up, dry fit my pieces here. Jet's flying overhead. But dry fit our pieces here. Make sure it all looks good. That's how I like to put together these planters, these box joints. So we're gonna get sticky with it. We can go ahead and lay that on there. Boom, just like that. A little squeeze out's all right. We'll wipe that up in a moment with a damp paper towel. Just want to make sure that's flush. That's flush over there. And the reason I do it this way, not on its side, is so I can put pressure down on this and not have to worry about holding it in place and things shifting on me. So, grab our brad nailer. Make sure we got some nails in there. I forget what size these are, but these are little short guys. And we're gonna go ahead and pop a couple of these in there. No blowout. We'll do the same on the other side as well. Just make sure that's lined up, it's flush. You have to keep your fingers away when doing that. So, now we can flip this bad boy over. Cool. Getting sticky with it. And with those brad nails in there, there is a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of give. So you can square all this up. No blowout, that's good. And now my fourth side here. All looks good. Keep them thingies away. Cool. We got ourselves a little planter box. Now, you are going to want to probably reinforce this. So, let me grab that real quick. Hey guys, I almost forgot. Just like with my other video, if you are, since today is the 12th, if you're the 12th subscriber, the 12th subscriber who comments the word, let's see, we'll go with bench. The word bench. I'm going to go ahead and send you one of these for free, one that I made. And I'll personalize it for you too. Just tell me what you want engraved on it, and I'll go ahead and do that for you. So I like using these Power Pro 1 multi-material exterior screws with the T15. It's a number 6x1. The reason I like these for these planter boxes is because they're small, you don't really have to pre-drill a hole. It's kind of nice. And I'm just going to put one screw in each side. Shouldn't split. That's a little bit important. The Brad's the only glue I had issue with them. And then, so let's go ahead and prevent that. Look at that, we got ourselves a nice little box. We left our marks, and they may be hard to see there, but we left our marks from earlier on there. So now we can take our pieces, making sure that right there, set the right way. And we could mark it with a pencil, or what I can do is just go, what I like to do is flip it over, line it up, and just kind of eyeball it. Add some glue there. Ta-da! There we go. Now I am a little bit, the heights are a little bit different here, but once that glue sets, I'm going to sand all this anyway and take off these little bits right here. Don't know where I made a mistake there. In a cut somewhere, I don't know, but it's fine. We can go ahead and sand that and just put a little bit of edge there. I'll be well and good. Sanding is the great equalizer. So now that we have that done, we got to build the front legs, the arms, throw a bottom on here. We're done. So I went ahead and cut 2 of these 1 3/4 wide to match the back slats. 2 of those at 7 inches, and then 2 at 3.5 inches. So the 2 3.5s are going to be my front supports. Be mindful of where you put the screw, because you don't want to shoot a nail into that. It will pop out at you, which is also why I'm definitely wearing my PPE. I had a buddy that happened to him. I don't want to do that. Okay. Now that we have those front supports, next we're going to put our arms on. And actually, I think before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the sander and just sand a little bit off of this, just to give it a little bit of style there. All right, so I just quickly hit that with this sander, and I think I'm gonna put those out. Yeah, I'm gonna face those out. Just cut or sand it a quick little 45 there. Don't really need the miter saw for that. I can handle that with the sander. All right, so a little bit of glue, and we're also gonna put a little bit of glue on the backs of these. So that way I can set that. No blowout. Cool. Let's go ahead and hit this. No blowout. Cool. Hey, look at that. We got ourselves a little bench planter. We just need a bottom, throw a little bit of wheat cloth in there, and then we're basically done. I'm going to drill a couple holes so we can hang this. I probably should have done that first, put the rope through, but again, I'm kind of figuring this out as I go along. I didn't think that far ahead. I'm going to use this last bit here to cut 2 pieces, and there'll be a little gap in the middle. That'll allow for some drainage, some water drainage. Definitely want some water drainage if you're going to be planting directly into something. But let me get those cut real quick. We'll attach those. Then we'll just throw in our little holes here, and we'll basically be done with this. All right, so the cut on these 1 3/4 wide pieces, the last little bit I had here, ended up being 10 3/4 inches long, and I dry fit that, and ooh, that's a nice tight fit. I like that, and it's basically square. Crazy. All right, let's get a little glue in there and pop these in place. I only need to glue 3 sides of it because that one inner side there is going to end up being a gap, so I definitely don't need any glue there. Beautiful. Now we'll just pop a couple nails in and we'll be done. And now I did put nails through the front of this. Didn't really evenly space them all that well, but that's okay. Didn't pop any in the back, but I think it'll be fine because we got a nice glue joint there and that will hold it. It's not going to be holding a ton of weight. All right, last thing to do, drill some holes, put in our weed cloth, and we're done. All right, so today I stopped at my new favorite store. I mean, I've been going there for a while, but Harbor Freight. They had this 29-piece titanium index drill bit set. I don't care about all that. I needed a new drill bit set. I keep losing drill bits. I was looking for a drill bit set today. I probably have 3 or 4 of them kicking around somewhere. I don't know where they are. But this was $10 on sale today. I bought this and sandpaper for my belt sander for $15. You can't beat it. You absolutely can't beat that. And what I really like about this set, which I didn't even know when I bought it, so you got a set of bits over here that pops out. Cool. But you open this up, watch this. Boom. That flips over. You got a conversion chart, which is really great because the rope I'm using here, this 1/4 inch, 6.35 millimeter. Well, I can look at this chart and say, hey, just bigger than that 1/4 inch, 6.4 millimeter, 6.7 millimeter, 17/64. I'm going to go ahead and drill that hole, and hopefully that'll be big enough to allow our rope in. And actually, I'm going to test it on a scrap piece first, make sure I can get my rope through there. I might have to work up, but just having that little conversion chart on there from metric to standard is pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm really happy with this purchase today, especially for $10 or whatever I paid for it. Just a few bucks. Anywho, I'm going to go ahead and grab that bit. 17/64. The only thing I'd say is that it's really hard to read this, especially with someone as crappy vision as me. But we got the 17/64 right here. We're going to go to town on this. Now, I did notice it did walk on me a little bit. I've got a punch I'll use for when I do these to try to make sure. And actually, I'll probably use one of the smaller bits to do a starter hole first before I use this. But let's see if that works. Let's see if we can get our rope through that hole. And I am aware about the blowout. No, see, I'm going to need a bigger bit. Cool, I'm glad I tested that before I went crazy on it. I'll clamp a piece underneath here so I don't get the blowout the next time through. Let's jump up our bit selection here. We'll go 5/16. See how that goes. I'm not on drill. There we go. I had that set for a slower speed for using a Forstner bit on an earlier project. Oh yeah, so 5/16 inch if you're using 1/4 inch rope. That's gonna be perfect. Tie a knot in that, it's gonna work great. So, now what I wanna do is mark where I want my holes and I need to grab a tool. All right, so I just measured, grab my combo speed square, 1 1/8 inches out from here. So I wanna go half of that. So we're gonna go just over 1/2 inch here. And I need my punch. So we're going to go over just 1/2 inch without a tool. So mark it there. Mark it there. And this was 1 3/4. Should be anyway. Yep, 1 3/4. So it's going to be 7/8. 7/8 of an inch in from that mark. Boom. 7/8 inch from that mark. Boom. And we'll go ahead and punch that. Punch that. Cool. And now, with that same center line, we're gonna go, let's just see something that looks good here. Maintain that center mark. And we'll come in, let's see here, let's see here. So we're gonna come in about 5/8 of an inch. No, we wanna go a little bit further than that. We'll go 3/4 of an inch. So 3/4 of an inch from the back. All I did was just look at where I was at here and subtracted 3/4 of an inch from that measurement. So now we can go ahead and mark that along that center line. There. There. Punch those holes. Those should be centered and lined up. And this thing almost puts a hole straight through the board. Cool. So we've gone ahead and punched that. We'll drill our holes and add some rope. Should clamp it, but there's not a whole lot to clamp to. Yeah, I still got blowout. I need to clamp that. Well, if I ever do this again, I'll plan that part ahead and pre-drill. All right, even though I'm just working with cedar, I did put a mask on. And catch this. I'm turning over a new leaf. See if I can get this set back up again. I put my tool away. I put my drill bit away. The whole set's here. I'm gonna try to keep it that way. I'll put that way in a little bit. I'm gonna go a little 80 grit and then jump up to maybe 120. See how this goes. All right, so I am going to go ahead and put a couple screws in the back of this. Don't these. All right, I hit that with a sand. You can hear that. I hit that with a sander real quick, just knock down those corners. There we go. Not too shabby. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for government work, as they say. Time for the wheat cloth. All right, so I picked up a roll of wheat cloth, garden cloth, over at Dollar General. It was like $5 for a roll. I cut the roll in half using my miter saw, which was kind of a mistake because it melted it. So whenever I unroll this, I gotta pull it apart a bit. Hand saw maybe would have been better. Probably a better option, but I can just use the groove of my table saw here to cut a relatively straight line. Just kind of eyeballing the size that I need. Then fold it over, double it up on itself. I'm gonna lay that down inside of here. And grab my trusty staple gun and staple that in place. All right, that's it. Just did 4 staples. I folded back the excess on itself. That's all it really needs. It's just really to keep dirt from falling out of the bottom of it. So now we have that drain line right there, that drain hole. we're going to add some string. We're done, guys. There we go. Cut this at 3 feet. So cut it in. Well, I could just fold it in half. That'd probably be better. Fold it in half. Cut that. Cool, cool. Now we can insert our rope. We'll do the back side first. I'm going to pull it through and then tie a knot. So I'm going to go ahead and tie just an overhand knot in that. Get that nice and tight in there. All right, do the same on the other side. Well, I guess I can just tie a knot close to the end here. To where the ends are about the same amount remaining. Hey, there we go. We got ourselves a little hanger. So that's it, guys. We built ourselves this planter, this hanging planter, bench planter, and can even customize it with some laser engraving along the front. I'll probably end up doing that here in just a little bit. You guys don't need to see that, but throw something on there, welcome, family name, something like that. Or it could be done across the back slats here. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Where do you think some personalization would work best for that? But we used, let's see, 6 feet of rope. Really, really cheap. I don't even know how much that would cost. Some nails, some glue. And then we used about half of a picket, a fence picket. So here's the trick to buying the fence pickets. If you're going to the big box stores, and let's say that they don't have many of the fence pickets left, don't worry about that. If they're warped, if they're cracked, if they're just nasty pieces, go ahead and grab those, especially for a project like this where you don't need a long length. Go ahead and grab those. When you go up to the register, ask them, hey, can I get a discount on these boards? They're broken. Because they normally have a discount pile anyway. They just haven't added those to it yet. Go ahead and ask them if they'll give you a discount. This last set of pickets I bought 8 pickets so I could do a bigger planter. And I used most of that. What I used today was just scrap from that project. I bought each of those pickets for 50% off. They cost me about $1.75 each. Pretty damn good. So $1.75, we'll just round it up, say it's $1.80, half of that, 90 cents. I've got $1 of materials here. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this online for 25 bucks and we'll see what happens. I think I can get it sold for 25 bucks. At a craft show, easily 20, 25 bucks. That's 2,000% profit. Did I do my math right? I think so. That's an awesome, awesome deal, guys. So go ahead. Like I said, I will put a cut list together. I'll throw that in the video somewhere. And hey, if you like what you saw, please like and subscribe. Check out my other videos, hopefully soon enough. And hey, let's go ahead and make something.